The Coastal Green Air Programmable Motion Detected Thermostat is a product that keeps on giving to the property owner when the property is occupied or unoccupied. Our thermostat is a very smart and complicated thermostat behind the face because all the features it has to offer. To the tenant, the thermostat is very basic. As you can see, it looks very simple and provides the tenant with very basic options for its use. As with most thermostats, it has the settings of heat, auto, cool on the bottom left-hand side with Fahrenheit and Celsius control on the bottom right. On the face of the thermostat, there's a simple LED screen accompanied by a down arrow button on the right, a fan button on the center, and an up arrow button on the left. Again, very basic, yet very smart. The programming of the thermostat is ultimately left up to the property owner based on his or her aggressiveness and wanting to save wasted energy, equating to save money and the climate in which the property is located. In our typical application, the Coastal Green Air Thermostat does three things. Keep in mind that all of the settings and hours I'm about to mention in this demonstration can be changed or modified specifically to the owner and the property's needs. The first thing our thermostat does is manage the degree settings that can be used by the tenant. In our typical application, upon entering the property, the thermostat will detect motion as the guest enters the property and automatically sets the thermostat to 72 degrees. Once the tenant is in the unit, the thermostat only gives the tenant the ability to manage the property between the degree settings of 70 degrees low and 76 degrees high. Our thermostat will show the degree settings lower than 70 degrees and higher than 76 degrees, but the thermostat will not go to those lower and higher commands, leaving the tenant believing they're using the thermostat like a normal situation. Once again, these parameters can be changed and set by the property owner. If the property owner is using the Coastal Green Air door or window monitors to manage the use of the AC or heat while the doors are closed, the property will get cold at 70 degrees if the tenant chooses to use the maximum cool setting, and the property will get warm if the doors are closed and the tenant chooses to use the maximum heat setting of 76 degrees. The second thing our thermostat does is manage the occupancy of the property. Once the tenant leaves the property and there's been no motion detected by the motion detector built into the thermostat after 12 hours, the thermostat will then go into what we call the unoccupied mode. Once in the unoccupied mode, the thermostat will make sure the HVAC works in the most economical way by monitoring the temperature of the property, managing the HVAC to monitor the degree settings of 65 degrees low and 78 degrees high. So what does this mean? This means that after this 12-hour period of no motion and the thermostat goes into the unoccupied mode, the thermostat will make sure the temperature in the property stays between 65 degrees and 78 degrees. Depending on the season and the temperature, if the property gets cooler than 65 degrees, the heat will come on and heat the property to 65 degrees. If the property gets hotter than 78 degrees, the AC will come on and cool the property to 78 degrees. The third thing our thermostat does is manage the unoccupied property after an additional 3 hours after reaching the unoccupied mode for a total of 15 hours. Once the property is unoccupied for this total 15 hours, the thermostat will make sure the HVAC works in the most economical way by monitoring the temperature of the property, managing the temperatures of 60 degrees low and 80 degrees high. If the temperature in the property goes below the low set point of 60 degrees or higher than the high set point of 80 degrees, the HVAC will respond accordingly and heat or cool the property to the set point as we mentioned in the unoccupied mode. In most cases, your cleaning staff is the last person to leave your property prior to the next tenant's arrival. The Coastal Green Air Thermostat will not only keep tenants from misusing your HVAC, but it also helps the most diligent housekeeping staff that might forget to leave the normal thermostat at a desired temperature when they leave your property. Once the thermostat has reached the checkout mode, in the scenario just mentioned this would be 15 hours, the thermostat will continue to work in the property owner's best interest. After reaching the 15-hour checkout mode, the thermostat will turn on the fan every hour for 2 minutes to circulate the air in the property. This feature will keep any hot and cold spots from developing in the property, minimizing the possibility of mold and mildew. Again, all the temperature and hour settings we just mentioned in this explanation of the thermostat can be modified to the specific need of each property as requested by the property owner. We'll be glad to assist each property owner in determining what parameters are best for their property to maximize tenant comfort and energy savings.